FBI look at these actions as a broader pattern of corruption or financial misconduct, it could be seen as part of a racketing activity. It could fall under Rico charges. We finally have the full subpoena for the Thornton Township, and it's quite a serious one. Tiffany Henyard is in so much trouble. There's no way Henyard is getting out of this.
Somebody going to jail.
The feds are looking deep, and we're going to read the rest of this, but I want to talk about what it looks like is happening with Henyard and her group of cronies. What kind of charges they're looking at. All right, so right here at Thornton Township, you're commanded to appear in this United States District Court. We're going to check out all the things that they're going to have to present to the federal authorities. So right off the bat, they're looking for absolutely everything. Kamal Woods, you are in trouble. You're going to have to deal with some things going on too. Looking for all background records, including applicants for employment, personnel files, credit checks, or background investigations for these people, all employment and payroll records, including records disclosing the dates of appointment, wages, or commissions paid, direct deposit, election forms, ACH authorization forms, checks front to back used for any payments for the above named individuals. Everything you guys are spending money on, you are totally screwed. Dates and time of the people who worked that day, records of the time and attendance, disciplinary files, records of work performed, including assignments, positions, titles, responsibilities, contract modifications, proposals, and dates of employment, showing that did you actually show up to work or just collect a check. Kamal Woods, that's making $100K a year, looking for wage and tax statements, employees withholding allowance certificates, U.S. information returns. So a lot of information. They're going really deep here. Let's see what else they're looking for in this. So we're going to move ourselves down. So right here, all municipal code and ordinances applicable during the given time period related to credit card purchases, all the stupid things that she spent the money on, vendor approvals, only approved by Henyard herself.
Henyard billed thousands of dollars in hotel rooms and meals during the trip to Thornton Township and Dalton credit cards. In addition, the videos show Henyard used multiple village and township vehicles owned by taxpayers to escort the caravan.
She did so many things where people didn't get paid or there was some mismanagement of funds. The board didn't know. She spent a lot of money on her own. So we'll see exactly what happened here. They got the procurement. They have employment contract, terminations. There are many employees suing the super mayor in the township for what they went through. Sandra Tracy is one of them. So we'll see exactly who got terminated and why. Per diem, expense reimbursements, outside employment to include any specific regulations for the police department, loans, work schedules, employee contractor travel, security detail. This is a really big one right here because she thinks she's some sort of president of a small island somewhere or some small country where she runs everything.
Dalton trustee Brittany Norwood says Henyard began assembling her details shortly after being elected in 2021, using hand-picked Dalton police officers. Using a Freedom of Information request, we obtained the work records for 6 of the officers assigned to Henyard's security detail at various times and showed them to some of Dalton's trustees.
This is a Freedom of Information request we did to see how much overtime these officers are making on her security detail.
Oh, wow. 162 hours.
162. Oh, that's nothing. What goes through your mind when you see these numbers?
It's disappointing. It's frustrating.
The officers are paid every 2 weeks, which without overtime is 80 hours. But when they're put on Henyard's detail, that 80 hours balloons to well over 100 hours, sometimes 200 hours. And in the case of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period. That resulted in a single paycheck of more than $13,000.
How? How does a person put in a 2-week pay period, 303 hours? That's impossible.
So we're going to see that use of vehicles. Clearly, you see these guys drive around in nice, expensive, high interest rate vehicles. So they're going to be going through that as well. There's another one right here. Residency requirements for employees or contractors. So another thing that we noticed, Mayor Henyard had employees that did not follow these residency requirements, that they were working for places but didn't even live at the places that they're working for. All budgets created for the entity, accounting records for all revenue, expenses, assets, liabilities, and equity-related entries for the entity. This should include all user data, access, logs created with any accounting software used, all applications, payment receipts, contracts, and or agreements related to loans procured on the behalf of the entity. She is so screwed. Even if they try to even manipulate this information, she is 100% screwed. But let's continue. Let's keep reading this subpoena. All records of payment to employees, including payroll, reimbursements, disbursements, direct deposit information. They're looking for all the records outside of employment for employees and contractors are maintained. And they want to go, let's see the employee handbook, if there is one. Even all the board meetings, they want the agendas, they want the minutes, they want the warrants list presented, they want every single thing. So if you guys have been watching a lot of these board meetings, not necessarily the Dalton ones, but there are ones for Thornton Township. There was a meeting that only lasts 4 minutes a couple of weeks ago. They're going to want to know what's going on with that as well. All documents related to vehicle purchases and lease, not to include but limited to the contracts, payments, approvals, authorized users, and authorized use for vehicles. She is so screwed because a lot of things that she was doing was not following the rules, wasn't following ethical or legal standards for the way she was moving and operating. This is where she's really gonna get in some trouble. Any records for municipal resources used on behalf of a political entity, including but not limited to Friends of Tiffany Henyard, charitable organizations. You guys know about that charitable organization that she pretends that she doesn't know anything about, that she's just a face?
Henyard did something that would seemingly generate some good publicity, helping establish the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation to help breast cancer patients. And on the very day the charity was chartered, it received a huge donation, $10,000, from the Thornton Township Board, which Henyard presides over.
Taxpayer money shouldn't be paid into those types of things.
Charitable organizations, including but not limited to Tiffany Cares Foundation, Tiffany A. Henyard Cares Foundation, and or Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. All records, maintained controls are in the possession of the township regarding Tiffany Cares Foundation, Tiffany A. Here, just repeating a couple of names. This should include all records related to 2022 contribution of $10,000 for the Thornton Township. I'm sure you guys remember that really bogus charity that just seemed like another scam that she was operating in, doing really nothing to help anyone with cancer. Let's continue. They want all employee contractor records associated with the following individuals, including but not limited to hiring, retention, consulting agreements, or employment contracts, personnel files, work schedules, work of invoices and payments, and job descriptions for Keith Freeman LLC, Government Staffers LLC. They want everything. You see right here, they got Henyard, they got Finia Dukes, Carmen, Gerald Jones, Stan Brown, Kamal Woods, Cheryl Shanez. And then you got another right here. Please provide all records related to the below listed entities. Jose, this one was printing all those stupid pamphlets and all those brochures that had Tiffany big face on them, paying them a lot of money to do all this stuff. Paul Graver, First Government Leasing. We talked about this in the last video with Keith Freeman, where this company just jacks up the interest rates to communities that can barely afford it and exploits them. Keith Freeman got paid over $20,000 in consulting fees for First Government Leasing. So Keith Freeman is definitely screwed, just like Henyard is. And they want to talk about the contracts, agreements, engagement letters, invoices, description of work, payments related to the following entities. The DeGaldo blog group. Maybe that's the reason why Michael DeGaldo decided, yeah, you guys are not even going to be insurable, and also you're not paying, and I don't want to go to jail too. Remember the super mayor, talking about the super lawyer.
I love the fact that you have been with us since day one and you have never ever gave up on us. I like the fact that you have run every case against that dude right there that's been trying to take our money. So I appreciate that. And that's the thing that I know that people don't like to give credit when credit's due. You have won every case and you made sure the village has been victorious throughout it all. And I just love you for sticking with us. So thank you so much for that, because people don't want to give you your flowers and your credit when you do. And for those that don't know, he is called a super lawyer, just like your super mayor. How about that? He's going to super jail, just like the super mayor.
He's there as well. Another interesting name, Jerome Geneva, which I thought it was Jerry, but Jerry Jerome, probably the same person. He has a past, and we talked about this in a previous video with Tiffany A. Henyard being consultant for her, even though he's pretty shady as well. So everything that we've all talked about, all the videos, all of the township meetings, everything they have done, the FBI is looking into. And they want the records of those trips right here. All records related, approved, non-approved travel for the paid by the township. This include official purpose for travel, hotel, airfare, per diem requests, approvals, per diem disbursements, credit card purchases or credit card expenses, expense reports, receipts, expense disbursements.
And we found Dalton credit card statements showing that Henyard takes the detail with her even when she travels out of town, spending thousands of dollars on plane tickets, lodging, and meals for the officers.
Mayor, why are you taking all the officers out of town with you? Isn't that a waste of taxpayers' money?
Any board or trustee approval denial for travel, this response should include, but not limited to, the following of the big trips that we all talked about: the bike ride to Springfield, a trip to DC, and obviously the infamous trip to Vegas, where we have a trustee by the name of Andrew Holmes accused of sexual assault, and Tiffany Henyard accused of burying the accusations, burying the story, firing the employee by the name of Miss Dukes, and demoting the police officer who came up to talk about what he heard and what happened. So we know that they have some issues with that as well. And the FBI wants all of the internal and external electronic communications related all requests listed above. This communication should include, but not limited to, the following parties. And we all know the big swingers right here. We see the Henyard, we see Keith Freeman, Robert Hunt, Kamal Woods, all the really, really corrupt individuals. They want everything from obviously whatever Tiffany Henyard was doing. Good Burgers, that's another failed company. Aisha Properties, Friends of Tiffany Henyard, and the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. So what does this all mean? The situation surrounding Tiffany Henyard and Keith Freeman primarily involves allegations of mismanagement and possible misuse of public funds that basically could expose them to RICO charges, Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. If their actions could be found a part of an ongoing criminal organization or enterprise, that's what they'll be falling under, RICO charges. And it's not just being dramatic. If you checked out this channel and been on top of this story as long as I have, you'll realize there's been a lot of misuse of public funds. There's allegations against Henyard and Freeman of misappropriating taxpayer dollars. The FBI look at these actions as a broader pattern of corruption or financial misconduct. It could be seen as part of a racketeering activity. It could fall under RICO charges. Both Henyard and Freeman hold significant administrative positions in the village of Dalton in the Thornton Township. Accusations that Freeman has mismanaged roles or responsibilities with actions like unapproved withdrawals and transactions suggest misuse of office, which can fall under the pattern of RICO. All the major players in Henyard's group all have conflict of interest, all have multiple positions, all use their positions of power to take as much of the taxpayers' money as possible. That's the pattern that we've seen over the last couple of months covering this story. They all seem like they're just deep in corruption. Taking a look at Freeman's alleged actions, like making bank account withdrawals and transactions without the proper authorizations in his role as contracting without board consent, potentially outline a scheme to defraud, which is a RICO charge. So all of these issues form a pattern that under investigation, if it's proven that there was a pattern of behavior designed to enrich themselves or maintain control over the government entity through illegal means, that means it falls under RICO charges. The statutes of RICO for running an illegal enterprise. This could lead to serious legal repercussions if these former charges are pursued and proven. So yeah, she's kind of screwed. This is terrible. They're looking for absolutely everything that we've talked about, all the accusations, all the stupid things we've seen Henyard and her group have been doing for the last couple of years. The FBI wants it all. They want the entire story, and they have a few days until they get the entire story. But tell me what you guys think. Did you guys read the subpoena? Let me know. And we're looking forward to the Dalton subpoena that will be released. But just this township, Henyard is totally screwed. Let me know what your thoughts. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.